This is the first time by a large respected medical journal. This is the Lancet Medical Journal. They give a detailed analysis of counting the dead in Gaza since October 7th, counting the dead due to this Israeli genocide. They say 37,396 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip since the attack by Hamas in October 2023, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. In recent conflicts, such indirect deaths range from 3 to 15 times the number of direct deaths. So they then say applying a conservative estimate of 4 indirect deaths, that's not anywhere near the 15, per 1 direct death to the 37,000 reported, it's not implausible to estimate that there are 86,000 dead Palestinians in Gaza due to Israel's genocide. 180,000. And again, that is taking almost the lowest number of indirect to direct that is plausible. If you were to do the top side of the indirect deaths and look at that number, it would mean that there are, because they said in some conflicts it's 15 times indirect to direct deaths. If that's what we're looking at in Gaza right now, then there'd be 550,000 dead. Now, I don't think it's that top number, but it could be well over 187. The minimum, 180,000. The minimum that have been killed by Israel's genocide is 180,000, really. And this needs to be repeated again and again and again. And one of the only big names.
All right, so he's going to say Ralph Nader tweeted about it, and I'd say yes, and I included that in my Red Pill Expo presentation, The Underground History of Israel and Palestine, which won the Red Pill Neo Award for Best Cinema at the festival. All right, so I have another question going back to this Trump shooting. By what method did they identify the body on the roof that was shot by the counter sniper team? Because I've heard police reports that he had no identification. I heard police reports that his phone was seized by FBI and sent to Quantico because they couldn't open it, which I always find it interesting. Like, they never bring like the locksmith keys for technology to the scene. They always have to send it to Quantico. That's like a common story as these things go. Like, they don't know how to break into an iPhone. I don't know. Anyway, they don't have access to YouTube. I mean, there's 8-year-olds in Sweden that can break into your iPhone, but they can't get into it. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing there. Also, Lancet, even though they published that article that Lee was just citing, I want to remind you that Peter Daszak ghost wrote an article in Lancet at the beginning of COVID to say, don't look at the lab leak. That's for conspiracy theorists. So from the highest levels of the deep state, the Lancet has been useful at times. But in this case, maybe they're right. Maybe it's just, broken clock being right 2 different times. All right. I wanted to also mention the film I couldn't remember earlier with Warren Beatty is called The Parallax View. I'm going to show you the trailer here in a couple minutes. But before we do that, can you go to the Battle Box clip, LD? LD texted me this. And I'm pretty sure there is a product called Battle Box, but some people thought he was saying Battle Bots, which was a TV show about robots that like compete against each other. But Battle Box, I thought that was like a monthly subscription where they send you like some tactical stuff. And if that's not a multi-billion-dollar company already, maybe it should be. I don't know. But it just seemed like maybe he was doing a promotion for something. He was reading the ad. But I'll let you guys decide on your own. Can you put that up on screen?
The issues, the agenda, the vision for America. But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. That's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
So we do it at the battle box, not with bullets, clearly, because battle boxes can't ship bullets, but they can ship you tactical items that you might use in your personal self-defense regimen. I don't know. What do you think he was trying to say there?
Yeah, he was going for a ballot box, and he flubbed it twice. He also almost said "Make America Great" at the end. Caught himself. He caught himself.
I don't know, did he? Or was there like a jump cut there that we didn't see?
No, it's at the end. I'll find that.
I'm going to go to a
'Cause it's-
definition.
It's about 6 minutes long, that little address.
Now he also did there was a like a State of the Union type of address that he did earlier today or later on Sunday. I watched part of it. I thought it was really like not worth sharing a clip of it. There's a couple other clips that I thought are cool, but we don't have time to put them in the episode. I did want to point this out because we're going to watch this trailer, and this is an excellent film. I remember watching this when I was a whistleblower, and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, I wish I would have seen it a couple years before I became a whistleblower. The Parallax View is a 1974 American political thriller film starring Warren Beatty with a whole bunch of other people you've never heard of. Produced and directed by Alan J. Pakula, great director. Its screenplay, et cetera, et cetera. Plot. TV journalist Lee Carter witnesses the assassination of a U.S. senator and presidential aspirant Charles Carroll atop the Space Needle in Seattle. So he witnesses this, but he's a journalist, right? So he starts digging into it. And the apparent shooter, waiter, chased, these things happen. 3 years later, he starts digging into it, feeling guilty about disregarding these pleas. So anyway, he's looking into it. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but it is a 50-year-old movie. This whole process makes Warren Beatty into the next patsy to be the next lone gunman. So it's like a whole circular thing showing. I mean, what is Pakula showing? In our political history, look, development. It's based on JFK's assassination, Robert F. Kennedy. He's saying there's this wheel going around, right? And it's like a recurring theme in our society. So anyway, it's interesting because it's a way of somebody or some group saying, hey, this is going on in the midst of it going on. Another movie you should check out. This is a book, actually, but it's a 1973 film. It's called Executive Action. And if you want to see how they conduct assassinations, this is one of the most realistic film depictions of its era of what an alternate theory to Lee Harvey Oswald doing the shooting alone would look like. This is a presidential, this is a sniper team, not just a lone gunman. It's a very interesting book. It's also a very interesting movie. And it seems to be, I don't know, is it assassination season or something? So since this has come into the American vernacular, again, it hadn't been the thing since Reagan. Since Reagan got shot by Hinckley, who had some very MK Ultra close connections. And Hinckley was shot shortly after John Lennon is shot by Chapman, who also had some very MK Ultra like hallmarks. And if we haven't had one of these situations since those situations, what's to say that this is abstracted from those prior assassination plans, teams, covert actions that went on not just in this country, but around the world? And is the group that pervades such assassination teams, like there's Operation 40, there's Operation Mongoose, there's a bunch of CIA activities with assassins prior to Kennedy being shot. Is there still a CIA today? Did they ever lose power or get investigated? Like there's still a possibility of continuity of power across those generations. So I just want to put that out there because it might be in your Parallax View. All right. Without further ado, I think, let me just check my card.
Yeah, I found this while you're thinking.
What do you got? Battle box?
I'm asking every American to recommit to think about it. What's made America so special?
I don't know. You have to wonder what he was thinking there.
It's the battle box, bro. Maybe it's like some sort of fighting vagina. The battle
Make
box.
America. Oh, don't say that.
Let's do 5 minutes of Rathbone, and then we'll watch the Parallax View trailer, and then we'll come back to close out the show. Because Rathbone, he cooked some TikTok Zionists, but we don't have time to watch the whole thing. But I think you'll get the gist of like the claims versus the reality, and how you might also practice intellectual self-defense in those modalities. Parallax View. I haven't seen this trailer, but I've seen the film, so we'll see if the trailer does justice to why I said it's an interesting film for you to watch.
All right.
has grown sixfold in the past 60 years.
She doesn't know what ethnic cleansing means, clearly. Ethnic cleansing means an indigenous people of a land are extirpated, expelled, systematically rooted out of a land that they live in. 60 years ago, Palestinians had more land than they do today. 76 years ago, Palestinians had more land than they did 60 years ago. 100 years ago, Palestinians had more land than they did 76 years ago. This is the process of ethnic cleansing committed by Zionist settlers in the early 20th century.
Israel is committing a genocide.
Yes, is committing genocide, as in happening now, not 60 years previous, as in since October 7th. Happening now, yes, that is happening. Even the conservative British Prime Minister David Cameron referred to Gaza as an open-air prison.
Massacres as the status quo.
Call me crazy, I don't want to normalize massacres. No.
My guy, I have to say, you defending the state of Israel after it has massacred 30,000 civilians in the past 6 months, 13,000 of which...
He changed the guy. He changed comments, so that's a good place to pull it. All right, let's go to the Parallax View and see what kind of trouble Warren Beatty gets into.
Senator Carroll, just fine, thank you. Welcome to our city. Since the assassination, 6 of these people have died in some kind of an accident.
There is no evidence of a conspiracy.
These people were killed. And whoever killed them is going to try to kill me. Austin thinks that maybe we all saw something up there.
We're in the business of reporting the news, not creating it.
You've been asking questions about me and things you know nothing about.
What I know is I need a good alias and I need a good ID.
Who are you?
You know, there for a moment, I thought you were a man.
My life is in danger just being here.
And whoever's behind this is in the business of recruiting assassins. I think I got some of their entrance exams.
Congratulations, Richard. You had some very interesting scores on the first series of tests for Parallax.
You know, your tests suggest that you have remarkable talents.
In a risk situation, I believe you'll go right down the line.
You see, the very quality that gets you in trouble is what makes you potentially invaluable. We're prepared to offer you the most lucrative and rewarding work of your life.
Questions.
So just in case it's not really the kid from Bethel Park that they fingered within the first, I don't know, couple hours basically of the event, in case it's somebody else using his name as a front to create an internet profile that maybe shields their group from the activities that they want to conduct. We have yet to see the evidence and see how it fleshes out. But what we've caught in the first 36 hours, I think, is substantial. And I think what we've put into the time capsule tonight is a substantial, meaningful, and comprehensive summary, given what is known in, like I said, the first 36 hours or so after the headshot attempt. I mean, they made contact with his head, so it's a successful headshot, just not a terminal headshot, and thankfully so. And if you put Biden in that position, I don't want to see any leader of any country getting shot. That's not how logic and reason, rationality, peace, civilization freedom is meant to unfold. So we're going to continue looking into this story next week. It's still going to be going on. I will bring back and give more time to The History of the Secret Service by Lafayette C. Baker. We will know more evidence to be able to connect maybe Secret Service activities of then and now by then.
Everyone's doing some kind of self-help these days, and you can find a million self-help courses out there. Most other courses out there are hosting lectures. They're hosting videos, they're maybe even doing Q&As, and these are great starting points to encourage learning. But at Autonomy, we believe that hands-on practice is the best way to really lock in what we're learning. There's no better way to gain confidence and mastery than through action. After each lecture, we practice the concepts we've learned with other students, giving and receiving feedback in a non-judgmental environment. The result is mastery of concepts like entrepreneurship, ethical sales, and self-reliance in an environment that directly translates to the real world. Plus, you make connections with other like-minded individuals who are learning right alongside you, and you have a lifetime membership in the community. The Autonomy course with Richard Grove equips you with confidence, competence, and courage in a world filled with confusion and noise. You can learn more at getautonomy.info. We'll see you there.
What makes the Grand Theft World podcast unique, invigorating, exciting, and informative? Most other podcasts out there are either doing straight up interviews or they're just covering the daily news. They're covering current events from the day they happened. And that is effective. It's useful. It's a great starting point. And then sometimes these current events change during the week past the first story. So we like to give it a little time. You have to wait till some of the dust settles on these stories in order to give them accurate coverage. And the other thing that's really missing in the media landscape is covering the articles that are coming out every day. That's great. That's necessary. But who's bringing in contextual history so that you can understand what has been going on for decades and decades to lead up to the machinations and actions that we see unfolding today? So what we do here on the podcast is we cover current events. Many of these things are censored, but we wait about a week. As a forensic historian, I focused mainly through my career on the history of globalism and collectivism and things that they call maybe the New World Order. There's a lot of facts to these sort of circumstances, groups, events, activities, working groups that they've had over time. So for Grand Theft World listeners, we not only break down the current events, most of which that are censored during the week, we provide you with contextual history, we give you the source notes, the references, we do deep dives, and this really empowers you with an understanding of context and history so that you can make more informed decisions in your life. There's also a community, a membership where you guys can actually ask questions and we can get into the show and we can share evidence. And there's a town hall weekly for Grand Theft World for those who listen to it and are interested in covering the stories that we don't get to during a 6-hour show. Listening to it an hour a day, you could easily consume the week's news, but you're going to have substance and meaning and context and understanding. And with that, you can make higher quality decisions in your life. So if you're interested in more quality in your life, go to grandtheftworld.com, click podcast at the top, and we'll see you there. Thank you.
These allegations are false.
This isn't Grand Theft Auto, folks. This isn't a video game.
What are the most surprising things that you discovered once you started pulling on that thread? Who he was connected to, what institutions he was influential over, what events he participated in?
Come on, man. What are we talking about? Come on, man. No.
You don't have to think about it, dude.
I got this quote because you said you didn't know much about Klaus Schwab. I made it my job to, as soon as this happened, I'm like, okay, this guy's their front man. Let me learn about the official history of the World Economic Forum. I got their 40-year history. I got every book that Klaus Schwab has written or ghostwritten. I went through those books. This is one of the most interesting passages.
Come on, man. Come on.